The spaceship Heyday hummed as it flew through the stars. Inside, people moved quickly through the bright halls, all except for one woman who sat alone at her workstation. Jun Kim was the best engineer on the ship. Her small hands moved fast across the screen as she fixed problems no one else could solve. But she never spoke. Not a word. "June, can you look at the oxygen system?" asked Chief Engineer Ta. "Something is wrong with it again." June nodded once. Her black hair fell across her face as she bent over her tablet. Her fingers tapped quickly, finding the answer in seconds. She turned the tablet to show Ta. "Fixed already." "Amazing as always," Ta said with a smile. "I wish you would teach the others how you do it." But Joan just turned back to her work. She would not speak. She never did. The ship was on an important mission. The Heyday carried 200 people from Earth to meet aliens called the Navarre. These aliens had ships and weapons more powerful than anything humans had made. Captain Han wanted peace with them. That's why the Heyday was heading to the Navarre home system. "All department heads to the meeting room," said Captain Han's voice over the speakers. June saved her work and walked to the big room where meetings were held. She took a seat in the back corner. No one noticed her come in. That's how she liked it. Captain Han stood at the front. He was tall with gray at his temples. "We will reach Navarre space tomorrow," he said. "This is the most important first contact since we met the Luri 5 years ago." Lead Diplomat Sun stepped forward. She wore the red uniform of the diplomatic corps. "The Navarre value strength," she said. "They respect those who speak boldly and show power. We must be confident when we meet them." Security Officer Day crossed his arms. "My team is ready if there's trouble. But the reports say these Navarre have weapons that can cut through our shields like paper. Which is why we need this to be peaceful," Captain Han said firmly. "Engineer June, your team has studied their technology. What can you tell us?" Everyone turned to look at June. She hated when this happened. All those eyes on her made her stomach tight. She picked up her tablet and typed quickly. The words appeared on the big screen for everyone to see. Navarre ships use quantum flux drive. Very advanced. Their weapons are plasma-based. Their shields have a pattern. With more data, I might find a weakness. "Thank you, Engineer June," Captain Han said. He had never heard her voice in the 3 years she had served on his ship. No one had. But her work was always perfect. After the meeting, Medical Officer Minna caught up with June in the hallway. "You should join us for dinner tonight," she said kindly. "The crew is having a small party before we meet the Navarre." June shook her head and walked away quickly. In her small room, June sat on her bed and looked at the stars through her window. She opened a small box she kept hidden under her bed. Inside was an old photo of a family. Her family, standing in front of a small house on a colony world. She touched their faces gently. No one on the ship knew about her past. No one knew why she didn't speak. No one knew what she had seen on that colony when the raiders came. No one knew what June was capable of when pushed too far. She put the photo away and returned to her work. The ship flew on toward Navarre space, carrying its quiet engineer toward a meeting that would change everything. The Heyday slowed as it entered Navarre space. The big ship moved toward the meeting point where the Navarre had agreed to talk. Captain Han called for the diplomatic team to gather. "Remember, the Navarre respect strength and bold words," he said. "Diplomat Sun will lead the talks. Engineer June, you will come too. We need your eyes on their technology." June looked up in surprise. She did not want to go. Meetings were hard for her, but she nodded and followed the team to the shuttle. 6 people went to meet the Navarre: Captain Han, Diplomat Sun, Security Officer Da, Medical Officer Minna, Science Officer Quan, and Engineer June. They wore their best uniforms with bright badges showing Earth's symbol. The shuttle flew to the Navarre ship. It was huge and shaped like a sharp blade. The shuttle landed inside a big room with tall walls. The air smelled strange, like metal and spice. 5 Nivar waited for them. They were tall beings with dark blue skin and 4 arms. They wore armor that shined under the lights. Their eyes were yellow with black lines in them. "Welcome," said the lead Nivar. His voice was deep and rumbled like stones falling. "I am Commander Vex of the Nivar Alliance. You stand in the heart of our power." Diplomat Sun stepped forward. "Thank you for this meeting. I am Son of Earth. We come seeking friendship between our peoples." The Navar leader made a sharp sound that might have been a laugh. "Friendship must be earned. Tell us why humans deserve our respect." For 1 hour, Sun talked about Earth's achievements. She talked about human history and science. She spoke politely, as she had been trained. But the Navar seemed bored. Their yellow eyes narrowed. Their 4 arms crossed in front of their chests. "You speak of many things," Commander Vex said, "but your words are soft. Are all humans so weak in their speech?" Captain Han tried to help. "We believe in respectful talk between equals." "Equals?" The Navar commander laughed again. "Your ships are slow. Your weapons are simple. And your words have no fire. How are we equals?" The meeting was going badly. June could see it. She stood at the back, looking at the Navar technology around them. Her eyes missed nothing. Her mind worked quickly, seeing how their systems fit together. The Navar turned to look at each human. When they came to June, Commander Vex stopped. "This one has not spoken," he said. "Why do you bring a silent one to an important meeting?" "Engineer June is our expert on technology," Captain Han explained. "She prefers to listen." "Prefers to listen." The commander's voice grew angry. "Or has nothing worth saying." Everyone waited. They all knew June would not speak. She never did. The commander walked to June and looked down at her. "Speak, human. Show you have strength." June looked at the floor. Her face showed nothing. Her mouth stayed closed. "This is an insult," Commander Vex shouted. "You bring a silent one to our meeting. This shows what humans think of the Navar." Everything happened very fast after that. The Navar guards raised their weapons. Security Officer Day tried to step in front, but blue light flashed from the Navar guns. "Take them," Commander Vex ordered. The human team was surrounded. Captain Han tried to talk, but a guard hit him hard. They were all pushed together, except for June. She stepped back into the shadows, watching with wide eyes. "The Silent One can return to your ship," Commander Vex said. "Tell your people that the Navar find humans unworthy. These 5 will stay with us until you prove your worth." June was pushed back toward the shuttle. The last thing she saw was Captain Han's worried face as the Navar took him and the others away. For the first time in many years, June felt words building inside her. But she kept them locked away. Not yet. It was not time yet. June returned to the Heyday alone. When the shuttle door opened, the waiting crew saw only one person step out. Their faces filled with worry. "Where is Captain Han? Where are the others?" asked Chief Engineer Ta. June took out her tablet and typed quickly. "The Navar took them. They are angry. They say we are weak. The ship erupted into chaos. People shouted questions. Some wanted to fight. Others wanted to run. No one knew what to do without the captain. Officer Hyun, who was next in command after Captain Han, called for quiet. "We need a plan," he said. "Engineer June, tell us everything that happened." In the meeting room, June's words appeared on the big screen as she typed. She told them about the Navar, about their anger, and about how they took the 5 humans away. "This is because they think we're weak?" Officer Hyun asked. "Because of quiet talking." June typed. "They were angry that I did not speak. They saw it as an insult. Everyone looked at June. For years, they had worked with her silent ways. No one had ever questioned it. But now 5 lives were in danger because of it. "This isn't June's fault," said Chief Engineer Ta. "The Navar are looking for any excuse to show their power." Just then, the ship's communication system beeped. A message was coming in from the Nevar ship. Officer Hyun ordered it to be played. Commander Vex's face filled the screen. "Humans of the *Hade*, he said. "We hold your leaders. They will be judged by Nevar law for the insult given to us." Officer Hyun stepped forward. "There was no insult intended. Please release our people so we can start again." The Nevar commander laughed. "We will release them on one condition. Give us the plans for your ship's engine core. Our scans show it has features we find interesting." The crew looked at each other in alarm. The Hade's new quantum drive was Earth's most advanced technology. Giving it to the Nevar would be dangerous. "We need time to consider," Officer Gunn said. "You have 6 hours," Commander Vex replied. "After that, we execute 1 human each hour until we get what we want." The screen went black. The room filled with scared voices. Officer Hyun tried to think. "We can't give them our engine technology," said Chief Engineer Ta. "It would break every law Earth has. The Nevar could use it to build weapons." "But we can't let them kill our people," said a young officer named Jin. "Captain Han and the others are our friends." Security Chief Pak, who had taken over from Officer Dae, spoke up. "We could try a rescue. I have 12 trained security officers ready." "Against a Nevar warship?" Engineer Ta shook his head. "That would be suicide. Their weapons would cut through our shuttle before it got close." Medical Officer Lee, who was filling in for Dr. Mina, suggested, "Perhaps we can pretend to give them the plans. Send fake information." "They would know," said Chief Engineer Ta. "And then they would be even angrier." Officer Hyun rubbed his head. 6 hours to decide between giving up Earth's most important technology or letting our friends die. How do we make that choice? Through all this talking, Jun sat quietly. Her eyes moved from person to person. Her mind was working, thinking about the Nevar ship, about what she had seen there, about the way their systems were built, about the patterns in their shields. Someone noticed her typing and called for quiet. Everyone turned to look at the big screen as Jun's words appeared. Asterisk, there is a third option asterisk. The room went silent. All eyes were on Jun now. Asterisk, I saw how their ship works. I know a way in that they would never guard. I can get onto their ship alone. I can free our people asterisk. Officer Hyun looked doubtful. You? Alone? How would you even communicate if you were caught? Jun's fingers hovered over her tablet. Then she did something that made everyone in the room gasp. She opened her mouth, and for the first time since she had joined the crew of the Hade*, Jun spoke. Everyone in the room froze. Jun's voice was soft but clear, like water running over stones. "I can do this," she said. No one spoke. They all stared at her with wide eyes. For 3 years, they had worked beside this woman who never made a sound. Now she was speaking, and her voice was calm and sure. "How?" Officer Hyun finally asked. "How can you get onto a Nevar warship alone?" Jun stood up and walked to the main screen. Her hands moved quickly over the controls, bringing up an image of the Nevar ship. "Every ship needs to get rid of waste," she said. "The Nevar ship has 6 waste ports that open every 30 minutes. They are not guarded because no one would try to enter through them." "That's disgusting," said Engineer Ta. "But possible," Jum continued. "I can fit through the port. I can get inside their ship." Officer Hyun shook his head. "And then what? You would be alone on an alien warship. How would you find our people? How would you free them?" Jum tapped more keys. New images appeared on the screen. "I studied their ship while I was there. Their prison cells are here, on level 3. Their control room is here, on level 1. Their shield generators are here, on level 5. Everyone stared at the detailed maps. Jun had seen the ship for less than 2 hours, but she had memorized everything. "You can see this much from just one visit?" asked Security Chief Pak in amazement. Jun nodded. "I see patterns, systems. It's what I do. Even if you can get in, Officer Hyun said, "What is your plan?" "One person against a ship of Navar warriors." "I don't need to fight them all," Jun said. Her voice was still quiet, but now everyone leaned forward to catch every word. "I just need to reach their main computer. I can shut down their shields. I can lock them out of their own systems. I can open the cells where our people are held." Security Chief Pak looked impressed. "That would give us a chance to bring our shuttle in for a rescue." "It's too dangerous," said Medical Officer Lee. "If they catch you, they'll kill you." Jum's eyes looked far away for a moment. "I have done dangerous things before." The room went quiet again. No one knew what to say. This silent woman who now spoke was a stranger to them. "Why?" Officer Hyun asked. "Why would you risk yourself like this?" Jun was quiet for so long that they thought she had gone back to her silence. Then she took a deep breath. "I was born on Colony 7, she said. Several people gasped. Everyone knew what had happened on Colony 7 12 years ago. Raiders had attacked the small settlement. They had killed almost everyone. "I was 15 when they came," Jun continued. "I hid in a small space under the floor. For 3 days, I stayed silent while they searched. I heard everything. I did nothing. I said nothing." Her hands were shaking now, but her voice stayed steady. "I promised myself I would never be helpless again. I learned. I trained. I became someone who could fight back." Her eyes moved across their faces. "I don't speak much because words don't matter. Actions matter." Officer Hyun studied her for a long time. Finally, he nodded. "How soon can you be ready?" "I need 30 minutes, Jun said. "I need a small breath mask, some tools, a communication device that can connect to our ship through their shields." "And weapons?" asked Security Chief Pak. Jun shook her head. "No weapons. They would find them. I will use what I find on their ship." As people hurried to help her prepare, Engineer Ta stopped beside Jun. "All this time," he said quietly, "we never knew." "You never needed to know," Jun replied. "Until now." She turned away to prepare for her mission. The crew watched her with new eyes. The quiet engineer was gone. In her place stood a warrior getting ready for battle. Jun sat in the small shuttle as it moved quietly toward the Nevar ship. She wore a simple black suit with many pockets. A small mask hung around her neck. A tiny camera was fixed to her collar, so the *HFY crew could see what she saw. "Waistport will open in 2 minutes," said the pilot, a young officer named Gil. He kept the shuttle hidden behind a piece of space junk. "Are you sure about this?" Jun nodded. She had gone back to being quiet. She had said what needed to be said. Now it was time for action. "Good luck," Jill said as Jun moved to the airlock. "We'll be waiting for your signal." The outer door opened. Jun pushed off into space. The small jets on her suit moved her toward the huge Navar ship. She felt very small next to it. Inside the *HFY, the crew watched through Jun's camera. Officer Hyun, Engineer Tai, and 20 others stood around the big screen. No one spoke. No one moved. Jun reached the side of the Nevar ship. She waited, floating in space, counting seconds in her head. Then, just as she had said it would, a port on the ship's side opened. Dirty water and trash flowed out into space. Jun waited until the flow slowed, then pushed herself into the port. It was tight and dark. The smell was terrible, even through her mask. She pulled herself forward, moving deeper into the ship. For 10 minutes, she crawled through narrow pipes. Her hands and knees hurt. The air was bad. But she kept going. Finally, she reached a wider space, a storage room for waste before it was pushed out into space. Jun lifted a floor panel and slipped out of the waste system. She was inside the Navar ship now. She pressed a small button on her wrist. A signal went back to the *HFY*. The storage room was dark and empty. Jun moved to the door and listened. No sound. She opened it a crack and looked out. A long hallway stretched in both directions. No Navar in sight. She stepped into the hall. Her feet made no sound as she walked. She had learned to be silent during those 3 days hiding from the raiders. Now that skill would help her again. June found a ladder that went up through the ship. Level 1 was the control room. Level 3 was where the prisoners were kept. Level 5 had the shield generators. She needed to go to level 3 first. She climbed quickly. At level 3, she stopped and looked around. 2 Navar guards stood at the end of a hall. They were big and carried long weapons. June could not fight them directly. She noticed a panel on the wall, a control box for the lights. She slipped over to it and opened it with a small tool from her pocket. A few quick moves with her fingers, and the lights in the hall went out. The guards made angry sounds. One went to check the lights. The other stayed by the door. June waited in the darkness. When the first guard reached the panel, she moved behind him. She pressed a spot on his back, right where the nerves met. The guard fell without a sound. On the HFY asterisk, Engineer Ta gasped. Where did she learn to do that? June took the guard's small weapon. It fit in her hand like a small stick. She moved toward the second guard, who was calling out for his friend. A quick movement, a soft sound, and the second guard was down too. June took his key card and went to the door. It opened with a quiet hiss. Inside were 5 small cells. Captain Han looked up in shock as June appeared in front of him. "June," he said in disbelief. "How did you get here?" She put a finger to her lips, telling him to be quiet. Then she used the key card to open his cell. One by one, she freed all 5 humans. Captain Han, Diplomat Sun, Security Officer Da, Medical Officer Mena, and Science Officer Quan. "We need to move fast," Captain Han whispered. "The Navar will check on us soon." June nodded. She pointed upward. They still needed to get to level 5 and shut down the shields. Only then could the HFY send a shuttle to rescue them. She led the way back to the ladder. As they reached it, alarms began to sound throughout the ship. The Navar had found the unconscious guards. Their escape had just become much harder. Red lights flashed in the halls of the Navar ship. The alarms made a deep, pulsing sound that hurt human ears. June and the 5 rescued crew members pressed against a wall as a group of Navar soldiers ran past. "We need to get to level 5, Captain Han whispered. "But how? The whole ship is looking for us now." June pointed to a small door in the wall. It was marked with Navar symbols. She opened it to show a narrow space behind it. "Air ducts," Security Officer Day asked. June nodded. She went in first, crawling on her hands and knees. The others followed. It was tight for them, but they all fit. "Where did you learn all this?" Medical Officer Minna asked as they crawled. June did not answer. She kept moving forward, counting turns in her head. Left, right, straight, left again. She had memorized the ship's layout from just one look at their systems. Back on the HFY, the crew watched through June's camera. "She's amazing," said Engineer Ta. "Look how she knows exactly where to go." "I always thought she was just shy," said another crew member. "I had no idea she was this." In the air ducts, June stopped at a grate. Through it, they could see a large room filled with machines. Blue light pulsed from the biggest machine in the center. "The shield generator," whispered Science Officer Quan. "But there are at least 10 guards in there." June studied the room. Her eyes moved over each guard, each machine, each door. Then she reached into one of her many pockets and pulled out a small device. "What is that?" asked Diplomat Sun. "It looks like a remote control," said Captain Han. "But for what?" June pointed to her collar, where the small camera was. She pressed a button on her wrist. Back on the *HFY, Engineer Ta got a message on his screen. "She wants us to cut the camera feed for 2 minutes," he said. "Should we do it?" Officer Hyun nodded. "Do it. She must have a reason." The screen went dark. For 2 long minutes, the crew of the HFY could not see what was happening. Some held their breath. Others paced back and forth. When the camera came back on, the view had changed. Now they could see the shield generator room from above. All 10 Nivar guards lay on the floor. They were not dead, but they were not moving either. What did she do? Officer Hyun asked in shock. On the Navar ship, Jun moved quickly to the main control panel. Her fingers flew over the strange buttons. Screens lit up with Navar writing. But she seemed to understand it. How can she read their language? Captain Han asked. I don't think she's reading it, said Science Officer Kwon. I think she's reading the patterns, the system design. June worked for 5 minutes. Then she stepped back. The blue light of the shield generator dimmed and went out. She turned to the others and nodded once. The shields are down, Captain Han said into his communicator. Send the shuttle now. From the Heyday a response came. Shuttle launching. ETA 6 minutes. We need to get to the landing bay, said Security Officer Da. It's 2 levels down. But as they turned to leave, the main door to the room slid open. Commander Vex stood there with 20 Nivar soldiers behind him. Their weapons were aimed at the humans. The silent one. Commander Vex said, looking at June. Not so helpless after all. June stepped forward, placing herself between the Nivar and her crewmates. She held no weapon. She showed no fear. You are trapped, said Commander Vex. Your little plan has failed. For the first time, June smiled. She held up the small device from her pocket again. What is that? Commander Vex demanded. June pressed a button. Suddenly, all the lights in the room went out. Emergency red lights came on, but they were dim. At the same time, a hissing sound filled the air. Gas, shouted one of the Nivar soldiers. They began to cough and stumble. Run, Captain Han shouted to his crew. To the landing bay. They ran past the confused Nivar, who were too busy coughing to stop them. June was the last to leave. She looked back once at Commander Vex, who was on his knees. This is what quiet people can do, she said softly. Then she disappeared after her friends. The 6 humans ran through the dark halls of the Nivar ship. The gas would not last long. Soon the Nivar would be after them again. The landing bay is just ahead, said Security Officer Da. The shuttle should be almost here. They turned a corner and found 5 Nivar soldiers blocking their path. The soldiers raised their weapons. Back, shouted Captain Han. The humans turned to find another way, but more Nivar soldiers appeared behind them. They were trapped in the hallway. Take them to the command center, ordered one of the Nivar. Commander Vex wants to see them there. The soldiers pushed the humans forward with their weapons. June looked at Captain Han. He gave a small nod. Wait, his eyes seemed to say. Be patient, They were taken to a large room at the top of the ship. Big windows showed the stars outside. Commander Vex stood in the middle of the room. The gas had not hurt him much. He looked angry. Impressive, he said, looking at June. For a quiet one, you have caused much trouble. June said nothing. Her eyes moved around the room, studying the control panels and screens. Your shuttle approaches, Commander Vex said. He pointed to a screen showing the Hetay's small shuttle moving toward the Nivar ship. But it will not reach you. Our weapons are still working. The shields are down, said Captain Han. Your ship is vulnerable. Commander Vex laughed. We have many ships. Yours is only one. We will destroy it after we destroy your shuttle. He pressed a button on a control panel. On the screen, they could see a weapon on the Nivar ship aiming at the approaching shuttle. Stop this, said Diplomat Son. We came in peace. We still want peace. Peace is for the weak, said Commander Vex. The Nivar only respect strength. June stepped forward. Everyone looked at her. For days, they had heard her speak only a few words. Now she stood face to face with Commander Vex. "You are wrong about humans," she said. Her voice was clear and strong. "You are wrong about silence." Commander Vex seemed surprised that she spoke. "The quiet one finds her voice at last," he said. "I am quiet by choice," said June. "Not by weakness. Humans are not like the Navar. We do not always show our strength in loud ways." She took another step toward him. The Navar soldiers raised their weapons, but Commander Vex held up his hand, stopping them. He was curious now. "When I was young," June continued, "my home was attacked. I survived by being silent, by watching, by learning. Silence taught me patience. Silence taught me to see what others miss." As she spoke, her hand moved slowly toward a small panel on her wrist. No one noticed except Captain Han. "Humans have survived many hard things," said June. "We have faced disasters, wars, sickness. Each time, we have grown stronger. Not by shouting about our strength, but by using our minds. By working together, by being patient." Her voice grew more powerful with each word. Even the Navar soldiers were listening now. Commander Vex had never heard anyone speak like this. "You say peace is for the weak," June said, "but it takes more strength to make peace than to make war. It takes strength to listen, to understand, to find a way that works for everyone." While everyone was focused on her words, her finger pressed a button on her wrist panel. A small light blinked green. Back on the HFY Engineer Ta saw a message appear on his screen. "She's done it," he shouted. "She's uploaded the virus to their main computer." On the Navar ship, alarms began to sound again. Screens flashed with warning messages. Commander Vex turned to look at the control panels in confusion. "What have you done?" he demanded. June smiled. "I showed you human strength. While I talked, my virus took control of your ship. Your weapons are now locked. Your engines are shut down. Your doors will open for humans, but not for Navar." Commander Vex's yellow eyes widened in shock. He reached for his weapon, but before he could use it, all the lights in the command center went out. In the dark command center, chaos broke out. The Navar soldiers shouted and bumped into each other. They could not see well in the darkness. But June could. "This way," she whispered to Captain Han and the others. She led them along the wall toward a side door. The humans moved quietly, following her touch. "Stop them," Commander Vex shouted, but his soldiers could not find the humans in the dark. The side door opened with a soft hiss. June led her friends through it before the Navar could stop them. The door closed and locked behind them. "Your virus locked them in," said Science Officer Quan with amazement, "and it lets us move freely." June nodded. "The landing bay is one level down. The shuttle should be there now." They ran through the halls. Every door opened for them. Every Navar they met was locked behind force fields that appeared out of nowhere. It was as if the ship itself was helping the humans escape. "How did you do this?" asked Medical Officer Minna as they ran. "I saw their computer system when we first came on board," June explained. "I understood how it worked. When I spoke to Commander Vex, I sent a signal to the *Hade*. Engineer Ta sent back the virus I had programmed. Now it controls their ship." They reached the landing bay. The *Hade's shuttle had docked and was waiting for them. But between them and the shuttle stood Commander Vex and 10 of his best soldiers. "How did he get here before us?" Diplomat's son gasped. "Emergency transport system," said June. "I could not block it." Commander Vex stepped forward. His yellow eyes burned with anger. "You have humiliated the Navar," he said. "No one has ever taken control of our ships before." "Let us leave," said Captain Han. "This doesn't need to go further." "Oh, but it does," said Commander Vex. "The Navar do not forget. We do not forgive." He gave an order, and his soldiers raised their weapons. But before they could fire, a loud sound filled the landing bay. The floor shook. The walls trembled. On a big screen nearby, they could see what was happening outside. The Heyday had moved. It was now very close to the Nevar ship. Its weapons were aimed at the Nevar ship's engines. A voice came over the speakers. It was Officer Hyun from the Heyday Nevar vessel. This is Acting Commander Hyun. Our weapons are locked on your engine core. Let our people go, or we will fire. Commander Vex laughed. Your little ship cannot hurt us. Even without shields, our hull is too strong. Perhaps, said Officer Hyun. But Engineer Jun sent us the exact coordinates of your engine's weak point. One shot there will destroy your ship. For the first time, Commander Vex looked uncertain. He turned to Jun. Is this true? Jun nodded. No ship is perfect, she said. Every design has a flaw. I found yours. Commander Vex stared at her. The human who had said almost nothing during their first meeting had now defeated his entire ship. The quiet one had brought the mighty Nevar to their knees. The price of your mistake is already high, said Captain Han. Don't make it higher. For a long moment, no one moved. The humans waited. The Nevar soldiers kept their weapons pointed. Commander Vex looked from Jun to the screen showing the Heyday . Finally, he lowered his hand. Stand down, he ordered his soldiers. They lowered their weapons. You may leave, Commander Vex said. But know this, the Nevar will remember this day. So will humanity, said Captain Han. He led his crew toward the shuttle. As Jun passed Commander Vex, she stopped for a moment. Next time, she said quietly, don't judge someone by whether they speak or not. Judge them by what they do. The humans boarded the shuttle. As the door closed, they could see Commander Vex watching them. His face showed anger, but also something new, respect. The shuttle lifted off and flew back to the Heyday . As they docked with their ship, Captain Han turned to Jun. You saved us all, he said. Jun nodded once. Then she went back to being quiet. She had said what needed to be said. The Nevar had paid the price for their mistake. That was enough. 1 month passed since the escape from the Nevar ship. The Heyday had returned to Earth to report what had happened. The story of how one quiet engineer had defeated an entire alien warship spread quickly. Everyone wanted to meet Jun. But Jun did not like the attention. She went back to her work. She went back to her silence. Only those who had been on the Nevar ship with her understood why. Then one day, Captain Han called Jun to his office. When she arrived, he was not alone. A tall man in a black uniform stood with him. This is Director Park from Earth Government, Captain Han said. He has news about the Nevar. Jun nodded to the director but said nothing. Engineer Jun, Director Park began. The Nevar have contacted us. They want to talk again. But this time, they have one condition. Jun waited. They will only speak with you, Director Park said. Jun's eyes widened in surprise. She had not expected this. They say, Director Park continued, that you are the only human who has earned their respect. They call you the Quiet Warrior. Captain Han smiled at Jun. It seems you made quite an impression. Jun thought for a long moment. Then she took out her tablet and typed. I am not a diplomat. No, agreed Director Park. But sometimes the best diplomat is not the one with the most words, but the one with the most respect. 3 weeks later, a new meeting was arranged. This time, it was held on a neutral space station halfway between Earth and Nevar space. Jun sat at the table, facing Commander Vex again. But this time, she was not part of the background. She was the lead representative of Earth. The Quiet Warrior, Commander Vex said when he saw her. We meet again. Jun nodded. She still did not speak much, but when she did, her words had power. The Nevar have fought deeply about our last meeting. Commander Vex said, we were wrong to judge humans by our standards. We were wrong to think silence meant weakness. He placed a small device on the table. This is a peace offering, the start of an exchange of knowledge between our peoples. Jun looked at the device. She picked it up and studied it. Then she placed it back on the table and spoke. "Peace is not just about technology," she said. "It is about understanding. Respect." Commander Vex nodded. "Yes, the Navar are learning this now." For 3 days they talked. Or rather, Commander Vex talked, and June listened. When she did speak, everyone in the room fell silent to hear her words. By the end of the meeting, a treaty was signed. The Navar and humans would not be enemies. They would learn from each other. They would grow together. Back on the *Heyday*, the crew celebrated the successful treaty. Captain Han raised a glass to June. "To our quiet engineer," he said, "who spoke only when it mattered most." Everyone cheered. June smiled a small smile that said nothing. Later that night, June sat alone in her room. She took out the old photo of her family. She looked at their faces for a long time. "I spoke for you today," she whispered to the photo. "I spoke for all of us." She put the photo away and looked out at the stars. She knew she would always prefer silence. She would always watch and listen more than she spoke. But now everyone understood that her silence was not emptiness or fear. It was strength. It was calm. It was her way. The next day, the *Heyday* began its journey to a new mission. June sat at her station, working quietly as she always did. But now, when she walked through the ship, people nodded to her with new respect in their eyes. They had learned what the Navar had learned. Never judge someone by whether they speak or not. Judge them by what they do. And they had learned one more thing, a lesson the Navar had learned the hard way. She was quiet, but when crossed, they paid the price.